Have you ever struggled with not being able to fall asleep? How about falling asleep and endlessly waking up during the night? How about waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to fall back to sleep? Or how about just waking up and feeling like you've been hit by a truck each and every morning? Well then, do I have a video for you. Now whether you're going through a hardship at a time like this, say maybe you've lost your job, less hours at work, the expensive bills are all racking up, all of us at some stage in our life will go through sleep deprivation. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the evidence-based tips that have been proven to help with resetting our sleep cycle and helping us get a better night's rest. So no pushy pill sales here, unless of course you're into that, then I got a whole lot of pills that can fix you right up. And by the way, these are all the tips that I recommend to my patients when they come and see me in my own practice, and in one way or another they've almost always helped my patients improve their sleep in one degree or another.
During the day.
Number 1, exercise. I'm not joking here. If there's one thing you could do in your whole life that'll improve every aspect of your health, it's exercise. Exercising creates massive chemical changes in our body that makes us feel more confident, more energetic, have a better night's rest, burn more calories. Even if it's just a brisk walk or 10 minutes of your favorite sport, it does go a long way in helping improve our sleep cycle. And if you have time, exercising in the morning seems to have the strongest correlation with getting a better night's sleep at night. Though this isn't for everyone, and I've met plenty of people that exercise late at night and they don't have any issues at all. Number 2, diet. Well, it's pretty obvious that if number 1 was exercise, number 2 is going to be diet. I won't harp on about all the benefits of maintaining a healthy diet. You've probably heard that all to death before and you should already be doing it. But by avoiding having heavy meals late at night or just before you go to bed, it helps to prevent all these signals going to our brain as the gastrointestinal systems in our body turn on to cause us to be more awake and more alert. Oh, and also reflux. Ideally, it's best to eat 2 to 3 hours before wanting to go to bed and to try and avoid all of the really spicy foods, really rich foods, citrus fruits, and Australia's favourite pastime, alcohol.
Especially avoid alcohol.
You may feel like it's putting you to sleep much easier, but deep down it's actually ruining the quality of sleep you get, and it's most often why we wake up the next day feeling crap. Number 3, naps. Now this is a tricky one, but napping can actually damage your ability to have a good night's rest at night. Don't get me wrong, napping for short periods during the day, say 15 to 30 minutes when you're feeling really tired and lethargic, it will help to give you a burst of energy.
But napping for such a short period of time is really hard.
And if you're anything like me, you usually put your alarm on for 15 minutes and wake up 4 or 5 hours later thinking, what year is it? This will decrease the level of sleepiness that we will feel later in the day and towards the night time when we do want to go to sleep. Number 4, caffeine. Now, I know most people out there like me love a good coffee, but caffeine really does hurt our sleep. You need to be careful with how much you're drinking, but also the time of the day that you're drinking it. Ideally not having any caffeinated drinks or caffeinated foods after 12 p.m. Caffeine has a half-life of about 6 hours, so it can be present in your body for anywhere up to 12 hours after consumption. Oh, and don't be like this guy I consulted once where I asked him about his caffeine intake and he said,
"Yes, I get my caffeine all in before my lunch break at 12.
Only for me to find out that it actually consisted of 4 coffees and an energy drink that he started having at 7 a.m.
They just don't fucking listen.
Oh, and if that's not reason enough already, caffeine's also a diuretic, so it's going to make you need to go and pee a heck of a lot more during the day.
Coming into the evening.
Dimming your lights. Melatonin, the chemical that's released in our brain to signal the time for us to go to sleep, is only released when it starts to pick up on dim and lower light levels in our environment. So at night time, try dimming all the lights in the room that you're kicking back and relaxing in. Notice how when you walk into a darker room you always feel a bit sleepier. Decreasing blue light exposure. Blue light is the light that comes off all of our devices, so iPads, phones, tablets, computer screens, and essentially what it does is it prevents the release of melatonin. It's recommended to stay off all of your screens for at least 1 to 2 hours before you want to go to sleep. Maybe try and meditate or read a book instead. Make your room cooler. This is an interesting one, and no, I'm not talking about making your room hip, I'm talking about the temperature here. When our bodies start to shut down, essentially what our brain wants to do is to lower our core body temperature by a couple of degrees, so just slightly. So, by changing the environmental temperature to be a little bit lower than what we would normally be comfortable in, it just helps speed up this process. I know it's contrary to what most of us like to do, where we like to rug up and be really warm, especially in winter. It's also why choosing comfortable sheets is also a good idea, something that's breathable, say such as cotton, so you don't get too hot.
And when you're actually ready for bed,
make the room pitch black. I think I've explained briefly enough about melatonin for you to know what I'm going to say here, but when you go to bed, make the room pitch black to really maximize your release of melatonin to fall off to sleep. Other helpful tips. Turn your phone off, or at least put it on the do not disturb mode. Now I know some of you out there might go, oh, but what if it's emergency, someone's calling me? I put my phone on do not disturb mode because it actually, most of the time, will allow a call to get through if someone tries more than twice. That way you're still able to be reached, but you don't have to get any work phone calls. Don't sleep with your pets. They'll just wiggle around and fart and continuously wake you up. And no, I'm not talking about your partners here, just your pets. The last tip I'll provide is letting you know when you should get back up. If you lay down and you can't fall asleep within 20 minutes, it's recommended that you get back up and do something relaxing before trying again. And by relaxing, I mean read a book, meditate, try and avoid the screen time. Or conversely, read something in the subject you hated most at school. How much sleep should we aim to get? Ideally, we need to aim for about 7 to 9 hours of sleep each and every night, though this can differ from person to person and some people can get away with a little bit less. There might be people that need a little bit more, but on average, 7 to 9 hours is best. Another important point is to try and improve the quality of sleep that we have. Now, I'm not going to delve into all the specifics of your REM and non-REM sleep cycle. I can leave that for another video if you're interested. And the point I want to bring up here is this is the gripe most medical professionals will have with giving out sleeping pills. Sure, they'll knock you out, but when you're essentially flatlined, you're not getting the quality of sleep that you need, and most often you'll wake up the next day feeling crap anyway.
which then leads you to need to take more sleeping pills and for a longer duration, which means then you get addicted and then the tolerance builds up and then you need to...
You get the picture. Plus you can get weird side effects like vivid dreams or sleepwalking or bizarre night behaviours that just are unnatural. And of course the possibility of tolerance building up, so you need to have more of a dose or addiction setting in. Best to just avoid them unless you absolutely need them. And finally, being consistent. Getting up at the same time each morning, going to bed at the same time each night will go a long way to help reset your circadian rhythm. That's it for this video. Please comment down below what helps you get a good sleep at night. If you like seeing content like this, please remember to hit the subscribe button with the notification bell on. Someone's just pulling into my driveway. Anyway, remember to go and share a laugh with someone, and I'll see you in the next one.